It's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I want to go into an interesting and fascinating and important quality of the narcissist within your life, and that is their characteristic of being superficial and glib. Superficial basically just means on the surface. There's no depth, there's no content, there's no authenticity, there's really no substance to their really personality, their comments. Oftentimes their communication style can be very glib, meaning that it's very superficial, it's very fluent, but it's not really lacking in sincerity. And so this carries into even their gestures, their correspondence with people. They're not really done on almost an ownership level. It's almost as if they don't even own their own conversation. Have you ever heard the term gratuitous sex? In other words, like in a movie. You're watching a movie and there really doesn't seem to be much of a plot. You know, there doesn't seem to be any twists or turns. There doesn't seem to be any really substance to the movie. And you're kind of like, you feel unfulfilled. You kind of feel like, well, where's this headed? Where's this going? And then they'll just throw in like a sex scene, and it just seems like, well, where did that come from? Or why is that in this movie? And it's basically gratuitous sex, which means it's just in there for the purpose of ingratiating the viewer. In other words, just to momentarily please them. It doesn't really have any significance. There's no real moral lesson to be learned. There's nothing really you can grab onto. And the same thing is very true and prevalent with the narcissist. They're very superficial. They're really doing everything for a show. They can't really back themselves up. One key component of integrity, whether it's in relationships, in business, in what you do in life, is your word is your law. And this is very important for you to pay attention to as we discover why we're not healing and why we're not progressing in our life, because our word is law. And that's a very important concept for you to understand as we go through this series here in Peace and Harmony. But with the narcissist, they really cannot back up a lot of what they say and a lot of what they do. When you back something up, it means you can stand behind yourself. You have a reason for why you're doing something. You have a connection between your heart and your mind and your heart. You have a connection as to why you're doing something. They really do not have a heart, so they really are all up in their head. So everything that they do is something that is planned out, and it's not really driven from a substance heart level. Because really heart is the driving force in what really makes the world go round, until we've been deceived and duped otherwise. The heart is really what gives emotion to our life, meaning in our life, significance in our life, and it really drives us where we want to go, and it brings really true happiness. You can't just, only think happy. You have to feel happy. You have to experience happy. And, they say, or at least I say in life, you love what you love. You can't help that you love, a puppy. I mean, it's like, or when you see a baby. I mean, some people aren't baby people, but that immediate feeling of kind of adoration, or, you see that precious life, you see them in their innocence, you see them, in their purity, you see their true expressions, you see their pure expressions, that feeling when you see a baby or when you see a puppy, you feel that love connection, that heart. The narcissist, they really do not have really that heart connection with people, or really with anything in their life. I mean, they can feign and fake personalities, they can feign and fake relationships to such a degree that they will really just dupe people. They will deceive people. They will dupe, meaning they will be so dishonest, and they'll pull something over on someone to such an excellent or such a well plot out way that people are it's like it's the deer in the headlights sort of feeling. And it's because, you know, they have thought this through and they have so much experience doing this in their life that it becomes just how they operate. So you can't really change them, but you need to understand that superficiality is the realm in which they live. That is the realm in which they operate. That is where they exist. And they really strive to hook people in on that superficial level versus a meaning, content, substance level. Now, they might originally seem to have a lot of substance to them. They might, and this is really with kind of like the first time, it's like your first time offender, you know, first time being offended, you might have thought that about them in the beginning. Here's this wonderful person, you know, they seem so skilled, they seem so adept. Yet once you really get to know them, it's very superficial in nature and you can see right through it, and you realize that really everything that they have put out there is just a ploy to get people to have people give them what they want, and there's no sort of reality connection. There's no really substance or meaning connection to their relationships, often their communication, and even their employment. It's really it's a very one-track mind, and that is for power. Period. End of story. Peace and harmony with you here today. Hope these videos help. Please share and subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.